Okay, all right, here we go. Okay, I'm self-taught, so a lot of stuff I haven't figured out yet, but I watch a lot of Italian video, and so a lot of the things that I say with certainty is because I've seen so much of that. So the first point I was going to make is it doesn't matter whether you're lagging is the slow rolling, okay? I'll talk about that mostly. I might talk about shooting a little bit. Is Lou coming over? Or?
Yeah, he is.
Hey Lou, ready? Okay, so anyway, I'll talk mostly about lagging, but then at the end, I'll talk about a little bit about shooting. Now, some of you are not ready for shooting, maybe, but afterwards, if anyone wants individual instruction, I'll hang around. All right, so first of all, it doesn't matter when you lag. It doesn't matter whether you put your right foot forward or your left foot forward. I think some people like there's sort of a pendulum feel if you do this, and this is, I think, actually most people are naturally tend to do this. But if you do this, you sort of get a feeling of support for your arm when you have the leg out front. Now, if you do this, one thing I've been doing lately is I put my hand on my thigh. I don't really, you know, I'm not really supporting any weight, but it just feels kind of good. Now, it doesn't matter what you do with your opposite arm. Some people like to stick it behind, but it doesn't really matter what you do. Okay. Now, another thing to think about. And again, I watched a lot of Italians, and these guys are on a different level. I mean, they're unbelievable. So, every single one except one guy. There's only one guy I've ever seen, and this is something for you to try because I believe it's better to do it this way. When you putt on a putting green, okay, this is the way you do it. You stand like this. You got the ball there, and you fix the target. You've got an image of your mind of what you want to do. And once you have it, you look down at the ball and you putt. So what I'm going to say is that these guys, the good guys, and me, the decent guy, and this guy, a good guy, we do it this way. So what you do is you're lagging here, and you've got the you're in your crouch, and you've got the target fixed, and you watch, and you've got it in your mind, and you look down. Now, a lot of people play for a while and they don't do that, and they can't even imagine trying that. But it's something to think about. I think it's a little better. Yeah.
And you visualize a line?
Okay, no, I don't. You can, I don't. In fact, when I look down, I'm not really, my eyes are no longer, they're not focused on anything. I'm still connecting with what I was looking at with the target. But for me to stand there and just look, it's a disconnected feel. I want to be here. Okay, let's see. What else? Think of anything else I could add?
No, I'm not thinking.
Okay, all right. He's not thinking. All right, let's see. Any questions so far? Okay. Okay, another thing that's very interesting, the way I lag is I have my wrist stiff and my fingers are inert. So when I release the ball, I'm sort of throwing a knuckleball, you know, something like this. Okay? Now, it's interesting though because some of the great laggers like Dante Urbani, who passed away, he really he spun the ball. He had this strange thing where he kind of went like this. That's exaggerated, but you get the point. And I think David might spin it a little bit. Why don't you go ahead and do your thing there? I want to see you lag. I think David might spin more than I do.
No pressure.
Oh yeah, why spin? I
think so.
never.
So there might be a little spin involved there. So that's an interesting thing to consider, and that's something else as a self-taught player I don't have a handle on yet. Okay, now, I'm trying to think if there's anything else about the mechanics.
A lot of people will flip their wrist, which will skew it.
Exactly. All the time you have somebody lag and they say, oh, I turned my wrist. That happens a lot. That's very interesting.
Yeah, because one finger moves, one finger is going a different way.
Yeah. Now there's a guy, the best player in the United States is named Jose Boto, He was born in Argentina. He lives in Detroit. When he was 21 or 20, he won the under 21 World Championship. He's 35 now, and just 3 months ago, he went to Rome and he played in the World Championships and he got second. He lost to a guy from Switzerland, and he just didn't play well. And it wasn't even a close game. It's the first time I've ever seen him play less than brilliantly. And he seems to twist his hand, and he seems to spin the ball. It comes off. The ball comes off, and it's got a direction somehow. Now it's funny. I didn't want to ask him myself, but I asked my sister to go up to him and ask him. Did he keep his wrist stiff? Because he seems like when he rolled, he seems like he goes like this. And he told her no. He keeps his wrist stiff. So apparently this business here happens after he releases it. Okay?
Oh,
Yeah. So
Yeah.
now, one final point. This is really interesting. Those of us that play over here, we tend to crouch. We bend at the waist and we get really low. The guys in Italy, they don't really do that. Their legs are kind of straight. And let's see. I guess they do crouch at the waist, but they don't really bend at the knees. And what they do is when they lag, first of all, some of them have kind of elaborate moves where they're walking and throwing and then they fall.
They drop the.
Yeah, but what they do is when they let it go, there's a lot of forward momentum, so they follow the ball. And in fact, some of them really, they're already moving. They might go like and walking. Now, if you have a slow court, you should consider that, because if you have to stand there flat-footed and provide all the power, that can really take away the accuracy. But if you walk, you can cut down on the work that your arm has to do. And it seems to me that a lot of these guys over there, they walk all the time. If you want to get online, YouTube, and search Italian bocce or Italian punto raffavolo. Now, punto raffavolo is the name of the other game. It's the sophisticated game. It's the beautiful game. There are a lot of extra rules in place. For example, if I'm playing David, okay, and excuse me, sir.
Excuse you.
He makes a good ball. He always uses the black ball. He's got a darker personality.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway,
Oh, yeah.
he makes a great lag, okay? And normally I would shoot this, but let's just say I don't. So I roll it. I roll it up there. Okay, so I replace his ball with a good ball. However, because I knocked his ball more than this much, okay, that's a foul. And my ball goes back, his ball goes back, and mine is thrown out. This is why it's a much better game. Okay, so anyway, why was I even? Well, it's called punto raffavolo, and I'm not remembering exactly why I brought that up. Does anyone remember why I brought that up?
You want to contrast just one
You said to
versus
go
the
watch
other.
the videos.
Oh yes, yeah, great. It's a lot of fun if you search on YouTube Italian bocce, if you can remember the name, punto raffavolo, because those are the 3 types of shots that are involved. There's a shot in punto raffavolo where you have to sail the ball through the air, hit the target ball, through the air. But if you remember any of that, you can search it out. It's a lot of fun to watch these guys, and they're so good. It's really worth watching that. So that might be the final thing I wanted to mention about the mechanics. Go ahead.
Now you're talking that you knocked the ball out so far. Now isn't it your opponent that decides who
Yeah,
that
the
ball
opponent
stays?
decides.
And a lot of times they'll say no, leave it, or
That's right. It depends.
Check
It's
it
called
out.
the rule of advantage.
That's
If it benefits him to get rid of mine and put his back, like it
Right.
did in that situation, that's what he would do. But if he rolled a really short ball up here, and I knock his ball and it goes a long way, and now it's better, he would say, you go like
Right.
this. And in his case, he'd do it with kind of a triumphant manner. Okay. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave the mechanics about that for now. Does anybody have any questions at this point? Okay. Another point I want to make is that, first of all, these traditionally bocce courts, they build up the sides a little bit. Now, in the punto raffavolo game, you can't use the wall. You can't touch the wall. So what they tend to do when they build these courts is they put a little more cement right here. So the ball is going to naturally curve away from the wall. So it's important to know that when you're lagging. Now let's say that I had okay, let's say that I threw the Polino out, it was right there. Let's say that I really do these chords really well. I do them perfectly well. Everything, the dynamics. Well, then it might be a good idea for me to stand right here. Because let's say I'm confident that the ball's going to come out and end up at the Polino because of the slope. Okay. Okay, now that worked out pretty good, but what's important to remember is if you're going to stand by the wall, the wall is not going to go here. It's impossible to get it here. So what you're doing is you're cutting down on your window of opportunity in a way. It doesn't mean you can't make a great ball like I just did. Now the point I'm going to make here is unless you really know the court well enough.
Go that way, see?
Yeah, see? Unless you really know the court well enough, I recommend standing. If you have the Polino, I'm going to move it a little farther over. Okay, we'll just assume this is a good ball. It is.
Yeah.
Look at this. That can be looked at.
Yeah, but
Okay, let's just take it a little bit over here, okay? Now, if I have the Polino there, I know that I can't get close to that Polino if I'm going to throw it from here. So what I recommend is you should be at least at the halfway point. And one choice that's always sort of a safe choice, or the safest one, is to stand here and throw it cross court. Because even in this case, it's going to be hard for me not to swing out. It's possible, but it's hard. Let me see what I can do. That was a little too hard. Anyway, see, the thing is, if I stand over here, I can access, because I can start in this direction, it will hug the wall here, and then it will come out. I can access areas that I can't get to from this side. So when in doubt, cross court is good. Cross court is always good, because you can get there.
do you follow through with your hand toward the ball?
Yeah.
Polino?
Yeah, I try. Yeah. Still working on it. Yeah. Self-taught. Still stumbling forward.
I
Yeah.
notice a lot of people when they play, they go back.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, there's a guy named Curtis who plays here. He's a very, very good lagger. He stands like this, puts his right foot forward. He's got his hand here, and he goes way back, and then he just has this delicate delivery. It's really nice. There are other people like Lisa. She doesn't go back at all. It's all a push. She does this, she pushes, and she walks. So, yeah.
So it's whatever style.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'd like to know, I'd like to figure out what the better style is, but I haven't yet. Yeah. All right. Okay, let's see. I think I'm done with the lagging. Okay. Anybody have a question? Donna and Joe. Cut that out, please. Cut that out. I knew everybody's name. I want to edit that. Joe, you haven't asked any questions.
No, I'm
Taking it all in.
following it. Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else have a question about lagging? What's your name again?
Rick.
Rick, do you put your right foot forward or your left?
Left.
Yeah, that's a very, I did that for a whole, I was doing my right foot, I switched to my left, and for a whole year I thought it was better. And then it just started feeling stale, and I went back to the right, and it felt great. So I don't really know whether that was really true, the one that I found the better one, or whether I just I needed something to change. You know.
I fish horseshoes, so that just comes natural.
Right. Well, I think, yeah, horseshoes, basketball, when you take a layup, right, you know, your left foot is forward. Okay. Okay, so I'd like to just do an introduction on the shooting, okay? All right. First of all, there's a concept called, it's sottomano and supramano. Now, I don't even know which is which, so you gotta be impressed with my Italian, I think. Anyway, there's two ways to shoot. One is, this is sort of a standard way, like this. And that's what David does. Now, but you can also do
That's
this.
Soto. This is super.
Oh, good, excellent. This is super. See, that means this is better. I like that. No, so I do this, okay, and I think one advantage to David's style is that his ball is straight. When he lets a ball go and he says, "I got it," that's because he knows the ball, once it hits the ground, it's going to go right to where he sees it going. Whereas I struggle a little bit. I think maybe my hands aren't that big. They're big enough, but they're not real big. So I tend to have a little side spin. My ball tends to go right to left. So I'm working on that, and I'd also like to do what David does as well. Now, if you were really going to get serious about this game, you'd want to be able to do both. So I'll tell you why. Let's imagine that I'm shooting, and David has a good ball, the black one. So I don't know if I'll be able to demonstrate this, but I'll give it a try. I can warm up. Okay. Yeah, I hit the target, but it didn't do what I wanted to do. I was hoping to hit it square enough so that my ball would stop and his would go. So in that sense, I'm killing two birds with one stone. I'm sticking the ball, and I'm getting rid of his good ball, and I'm replacing it with now a good ball for me. So this is why this is a nice way to do it. Go ahead.
If you shoot like that, say you've got one way down there, isn't it kind of hard to get it all the way down there?
Okay, thank you. Let's say David rolls a great ball, and he puts it right here.
And we call it eclipse.
It's an eclipse.
You don't see the Polino, so it's yeah. And you see the Polino as a window. You can see window. You can kill anyone.
As you were just implying, if I try to do my usual throw, I could be in trouble here. Let's see if I can show you. I hope I at least hit it.
Hey.
I missed it, but the point is, if I hit that ball, his ball in the Polino would go to the back, and mine wouldn't go. It would stay in the area. So this is the downside of that.
So on that,
Yeah.
Yeah,
on that,
that
once you
way
release
is
the
up.
ball,
Yeah.
then you can cross that line.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you release the ball and you can cross the line, but you pass the line, the referee immediately calls you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has the hand.
Carry through.
All right.
So you lose your ball. So this is why you have to be careful. Be
And that's really whether you foul. How do you reset the balls?
Okay.
The other balls, or do you?
Right, now you're asking a question about the Punta Raffavolo game, which is not really what I'm talking about, but I'm happy to tell you.
On this game,
Okay, go ahead.
if those other balls go every different direction,
Yeah.
and you foul,
What do you mean foul?
Cross the line.
it's across the line. Eliminate
Before you
the.
release
Well,
the ball.
you know, if
so
somebody
you just
It's a
proceed
dead
with
ball.
the ball.
if somebody said you foul, then everything gets put back as best as you can.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
Some people will.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Now I'll show you another interesting kind of important concept here.
yeah. So most of the time, in a foot. Yeah. Now we call the window right there.
Okay, so he rolled a good ball, and I'm going to have to shoot. It's too close for me to lag in. Now, it's important to be able to shoot from all angles. I know some people, they only practice straight on, and they're uncomfortable otherwise. You got to get away from that. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, if I stand over here, I've got a pretty good, we call it a nice window, right? Because my target now is wider, because if I hit either one of those two objects, that's a successful shot. Because I'm separating his good ball from the Polino one way or the other, okay? Now, if I stand here, this is not bad, but if I stand over here,
You
this is
can see
better.
both.
This is better because it's wider now, okay? If you consider those two balls now to be a combined target. Now, standing here, it's theoretically possible, maybe if my ball bounces a little bit, my ball will go between. But it's so rare that you're okay. You're looking for a wider target if you can get it, okay? So, I have a feeling I might miss this. You can edit that out if I make it.
Yes.
Okay, so I was very confident there because it didn't matter which object I hit, okay? Let's see, now, yeah, so I mean, even if you, even if you had this kind of thing, David and I, we call this a big ball because you don't really have a great window, but you do have as if your ball is bigger, okay? So even in this case, you really want to shoot from here because your target is slightly wider from this angle. Oh, another thing that's really, really good, can really boost your confidence is this.
There's a green point.
No, red point.
Oh,
Now, in this case, he's got a great ball, but I have a good ball that I don't want to mistakenly hit. So, I'm going to try to hit the black ball on the left, but I'm going to stand over here. Okay, the angle I'm going to take is from over here, because from over here, my ball is obscured. I'm not going to knock my ball out. The only way I'll do it is with a double hit. If I hit his ball on the left, just, if I hit it very on the side, it might shoot to the right and knock my own ball. But if I screw up here and my shooting is off, I won't hit my ball directly. I'm safe from that. So I want to take the shot from this angle. Understand? Okay. See what I can do. Now I hit the cleanup, but the point is, I was not worried about my own ball in the slightest. Okay.
good shot, good shot.
Thank you.
Watch out, it's going back.
Oh, thank you, Lou.
Okay.
All right, so it's the angle. You've got to be comfortable shooting from all angles. You use the entire width of the court.
Tony, come on.
You don't want to be trying to shoot like this, but you get close
What did
to
you
the
do with Mario? He was here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was,
Did you see him?
yeah, he said we have to go cook.
No,
Oh,
no,
so
no.
yeah, that's
Okay.
No, you have to take into account the angles involved.
So it's not too often you shoot the ball straight.
Well, you might. No, it's not uncommon.
Okay.
But there's probably always a better place
Angle
to
at it.
stand than exactly in the middle. Yeah.
Okay.
And by the way, implicitly, what I was talking about there is if you do have what we call a nice window, which means nice window of opportunity, nicer than just the ball. And it's like this, okay? Your aim is right here, okay? You're aiming to put it in the middle. This is taking full advantage of the window.
So when you're shooting like that,
Yeah.
do you generally throw it out there a ways?
You mean before it lands?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the other game we play, Punta Raffavolo, when you throw it out there, it has to land beyond the second line.
Oh, okay.
So that's why. But I think it is better. It is better. I think if you throw it out ahead of you, it has a better chance of staying on its straight path. it's possible to drop it too soon and there you go and make a nice shot, but you should try to extend.
So when you release it, before you cross the line, do you release it like midway through? Is that how you do it?
Okay, well, that's a good question. Let me get into that because I think I'm done with the strategy. Okay, line up so your ball is blocked. Okay, I did that already. So, I'll make one more point and then we'll move on to that. Okay, so I'm going to make another point here. Let's say that, you know, you make a great ball. It's me this time, not David. I make a great ball. Okay. All right. Let's say I'm here. Okay. Now, my opponent rolls his 4 balls. Okay. You've got 3 balls left. Your opponent is finished. Does anyone want to suggest what I'm going to suggest?
Take the
Yeah. Take a shot at them. Take one of your balls and try to hit the Polino. Especially if your ball is not if you're not going to hit your ball directly, that gives you even more confidence and more, less concern. You're not going to hit your ball directly. So take one of your balls and try to hit the Polino, because if you hit the Polino, you've got an automatic 4. This ball is already further than any of these. So if the Polino moves, you're going to get 4. All right, so let's just talk about the shooting. All right. I think the most standard style of shooting is a 3-step delivery. Now, I think that it's slightly more Italians throw off their left foot than off the right. And I think that throwing off the left foot is the more natural way. I think if you play basketball, you shoot a layup off your left foot. That's one example, and there are many others. So that's the way I shoot. Now, my buddy here shoots off his right foot. And maybe if he's not too sore, but maybe he's too sore. Anyway, so the first thing is that 3 steps is kind of standard. 3 steps, okay? Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to provide a stable platform for your arm swing. You're going to reduce the amount of work that your arm has to do, which will make it allow it to be more accurate. So you take the 3 steps, and what you're doing is you're slightly accelerating, and your hips are square to the target. That's important. This is why guys, let's say, who stand there and take 2 steps and do a big wind-up and they fire it. It's not the best way, because the hips are not going to stay square. They're going to move because of the torque. So it's something else that the person has to account for. It's more complicated. So, let's see, so you take your 3 steps, and by the way, you also continue running. The reason you do that is you want your hips to stay square to the target through the shot. So part of your follow-through is to keep running. Now, theoretically, if you were to watch somebody shooting and you only watch from the waist down, you just see somebody jogging along. It would be fluid. Now, what you're doing with your arm is you want a pendulum swing, and you want centrifugal force to propel the ball down the court. And you want your arm perpendicular to the ground, and you're holding the ball, but you're not holding it tight. There shouldn't be any tension anywhere. And so another thing that I finally started to experiment with from watching all these Italians, every single one of them has their arm to the side. Now, it seems to me that the guys that bend their waist a lot, they like it back. And the guys that are rather erect, they like it like this. Something like this. Again, I've never had any lessons. So what they do is, as they begin their routine, their arm is shooting out to the left. And then sometimes when they're in their forward motion, their arm collapses. There's a guy from Stockton named Albert. He's 80-something, and this guy is still a very fine shooter. So, any questions about that? Does that address what you had said? Okay, so I'll show you my my approach. If you want to see a guy really shoot, you've got to watch him, but he's on the shelf today. I'll give myself a nice window to increase my chance of success here. Now, one more thing that I've kind of been thinking of lately is I used to think a lot about my steps, but really, I think it's more important to think about your arm, because what you want is you want a smooth, fluid swing. And if you think of your arm, then your legs will tend to support that without really thinking. But if you start thinking, oh, I want to accelerate quickly, well, your arm is going to be behind. So if in doubt, if something feels like it's going wrong, try to slow it down, slow it down.
Now, do you do the same thing when you go to shoot? Do you take your eyes off the target?
Oh, no, no, no. Your eyes
do this
remain
all
throughout,
the way,
throughout.
this. It's not like
No, 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 no,
All right.
no.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to, hopefully, you know, everything will be in place here, and including my arm. I like to kind of do this to sort of remind myself that I want my arm to be close to my, in fact, I'm going to
Yeah,
hit my
this
keys.
is
I want my arm
this
close
bad
to-
idea, yeah.
Yeah. I want my arm close to my leg, because this is all part of keeping everything straight.
Uh-huh. Good shot, good shot.
Thank you. So I really was focused on a nice free swinging arm. I don't-
See, and you stop your ball there, see?
There's no tension here at all. The only motion really is in the shoulder. Okay. Did you see my arm out there? Now I don't know if I let it collapse or not. I'm not sure what I'm doing there.
Notice you twist it back.
Twist it. Yeah. See, I'm still kind of experimenting with that, because these Italians, everyone is slightly different. It's very
See,
interesting.
we must not be playing with very many Italians. 'Cause we're newbies and we play on Thursday night.
Sure.
I don't see anybody running, doing
Yeah.
the steps. They're
Most
all,
of-
they're
most of
all
the members-
standing still.
Most of the members here, they're only recreational players, and they don't come down here except for when it's their league night. And when the league ends, they don't come back until